Okay, so it's very tempting to simply say that truth exists only via a shared answer key, so that our, given the complexity of the various symbols in English, the words that we use, and the propensity to use them in similar ways but not necessarily meaning exactly the same thing, and that necessarily, for example, if I said, when I was a kid, let's say I said that, oh, he aggravated his injury or something, then that made sense. But if I were to say he's aggravating me, I was using the word wrong. You're not supposed to use it like that. It doesn't. That's not what it means. You're meaning something other than it's conveying. Like, you're not aggravating him because he's not a problem that you are making worse. You're irritating him. So there's a certain juncture before you get to diction lecture-y person. There's a certain juncture where the individuals are not aware of their different respective meanings, provided the sentence context is close enough to uh, validate, to not validate, but to not correct by its inherent corrective mechanism of disagreement, or you know I mean, because look, you get your two agents. Tangents, man. It's it's the problem. So it was like I'm thinking, I want to just run through the shit, but it's impossible because. So I'm saying, like, with language, sure, of course, there might be an occasion where two people are, you know, a guy says he aggravated step. He aggravated injuries. And it turns out injuries is the name of a lion in the zoo, and this is the zookeeper talking to another guy. And the other guy thinks he's using it to mean somebody made injuries worse on their body, and what he actually means is he irritated the lion. So, in that case, is the sentence true or false is clearly contingent upon um, what meaning the judger of the truth and falsity holds for that word. So in that sense, we see truth is obviously conditional upon that sort of shared answer key. On the other hand, if we think about it like certain other truths that would appear to be independent of agreement in any sense, or and not that sharing the same meaning for the symbol is um, necessitates that, but okay. So an example of something that would seem to be true outside of any linguistic um, quality. Well, I mean, the tricky part about saying that is it would seem to be that only sentences have truth values. So how can you say something could be true outside of the language? But um, mathematical truths and uh, well, let's just stick with mathematical truths for now. So mathematical truths are really exactly the same thing as language, right? They are truths in which you look for consistency with the symbols, but the difference being it has a corresponding falsifiability in reality that some sentence like aggravated blah 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 doesn't. So if I say a sentence that includes mathematical things like that brick is approximately 3.5 inches long, um, then it's verifiable or it's falsifiable, right? And one of the other issues has been if you're going to say that something bears truth that is made by reality, then um, an identity theory, which by the way is not like not like I'm debunking the current theory. I'm talking about this old thing that's long since been dismissed. But I think it's interesting to as a jumping off point because I want to work my way through as many possibilities I have to work my way through until I figure out the right one or the best one. Of course, but what we said, in order to do that, I first need to understand what truth is. Can you help me? Is this truth brown? Is this a brown truth or a green truth? Right, so mathematical truths. It would seem to me if you were to say, if you were to write the mathematical symbols, the circumference of this circle is equal to pi r squared. I think that's the circumference, right? Yeah. Or is that figure out the diameter? No, that would be just r times 2. Yeah, it's pi r squared is the circumference. Okay. Could be the area. No, I think it's circumference. Area? Who remembers? The nice thing is, this is the thing. Why do you need to learn math anymore, right? You can just look it up and you need to know to figure something out. You just be like, okay, I need to figure out the area of something. How do I do it again? It is nice to have a background in it, I suppose. I'm not dissing elementary school. I agree that elementary school is a good thing. Middle school is a good thing too. High school, at that point, you might as well just send them out and have them do something productive. Well, maybe high school is okay too, but definitely not college. Not for kids, 18-year-olds. This tangent is not even necessary for my philosophizing. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Eric Tisk. Where was I? So, if we view truth simply as a quality of this symbolic system rather than as necessarily related in any sense to reality, except insofar as it's our common point of reference as we continually grow, evolve, and develop our understanding of available symbols and make new symbols and stuff. So what are symbols then? Well, symbols are just simply meaning packages, and it's critical that we develop as many symbols as we can to incorporate large ideas. And I think, in fact, that's more or less what I want to do is a full taxonomy, not like an encyclopedia of philosophy kind of taxonomy where you're saying, well, there was this theory and this theory and this theory, but like a taxonomy more from a debate perspective, which is a much better way of thinking about things, where you think about it like, okay, This would be kind of like a framework argument. If this were functioning as an argument, what would it be? Rather than if it were functioning as philosophy, you know? And don't get me wrong, philosophy is all about argumentation theory and stuff like that. So I'm not trying to co-opt. I'm not trying to like give debate dominion over philosophy's ground. I'm just simply saying that the more we understand how things function in terms of, I guess what you'd call non-debate space impact, right? Like, okay, for example, so complicated. It's hard to keep it all in my head. It must. If anybody would ever watch, nobody's ever going to watch. Yes, somebody is currently right now at minute 11 of this fantastic video because you're going so quickly through the material. You're really just thrilling everybody with your delivery speed. But see, that's the thing. I can't go fast. I can't go fast for this. It's it's too complicated. You know what I'm saying? It makes me happy to think about though, because it's coming together. It's not. It doesn't sound like it on this end, but it is coming together. Um, yeah. So these packages of meaning. What I'm talking about, like, I wanna understand all things as their function in terms of interplay between interplay like mimetic interplay but with a specific linear path and ideally, sort of singularity style destination. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. Well, what I should do is do what I was starting to do on the blog. And I started at the place to start. I finally got a place to start. I should start there. I should go back and start at the place to start. I could just read it. But I'd rather just reset it because the ideas have to unfold or something. Will I ever get anywhere with this that I feel as though some portion of it is put to bed? That's what I worry about. Is it possible to ever have that feeling of closure with even a chunk of it? As though one chunk is fully conceptualized and you can stand on it, because that's the problem. You can't stand on anything. Philosophy has nowhere to stand.